Hiya, Barbie.
Hi, Ken.
You want to go do a podcast?
Sure.
Jump in.
Ladies and gentlemen, fillies and chanticleers, dragons of all ages, and everyone else, welcome to Pondering Pony. I'm your host, John, and with me I have my co-host. Now, what have we learned, Jay?
Loss of control,
Good.
screaming and hollering,
Yes, and most importantly,
passion.
right. So now that you know the elements of a good cheer, let's hear one.
Yay!
You're gonna cheer for me like that? Louder.
Yay!
Louder.
Yay!
Louder!
Yay!
Ugh.
Too loud?
Yay! Anyway, this is a podcast about toy media franchises, 2000s nostalgia, and whatever else we want to talk about. And this week we're here to talk about My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, Season 1, Episodes 15 and 16.
Yeah, episode 15 is called Feeling Peachy Keen. This was released February 11, 2011, directed by Jason Theaton and James Wooten, written by Dave Polsky, who we haven't talked about yet. This is his first episode here. He's a writer. He worked on South Park, Scary Movie 2, and Sonic Boom. And then, yeah, I've animation, DHX Media, and Top Draw. Art direction, Red Sorensen. Music by William Anderson.
Yes. Make sure to mention those names, of course. Yes, because they're different, are they not? Anyway,
They've every episode at least thus far.
Yes, anyway. So for the plot of this first episode, Twilight Sparkle is skeptical that Pinkie Pie's Pinkie sense actually correlates with the events she says they predict, and so she follows Pinkie around for a day, increasingly frustrated that she can't find a good explanation for the correlation. Pinkie gets a new tingle, a full-body trembling, which she interprets as something happening at Froggy Bottom Bog, where Fluttershy is relocating frogs. They rush there and are attacked by a Hydra, barely escaping. And Pinkie continues trembling, causing Twilight to explode in frustration, before finally accepting that she can't know everything. And then Pinkie stops trembling, and that's the end.
Yeah, this is kind of an odd character detail to be revealing at this point in the show.
Yes, true.
That Pinkie Pie has some sort of prediction ability.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, soldiers with their war wounds predicting the weather, I guess.
I mean, that's a relatively common thing. I knew someone in college who could just with barometric pressure dropping would know when a storm was coming because he would feel extra aches and pains.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Pinkie feels the same thing, but for plotted plants falling from somewhere. yeah. No, it is a weird thing to introduce 15 episodes in, especially since we haven't seen it before. It could just be a thing that happens once a year. It's not very apparent. Because a detail like that could be so useful in situations, but we've seen that Pinkie doesn't always have it.
Yeah, it's impossible, or it makes it very difficult to write things if you have to constantly be aware of, if anything falls in this scene, we have to have Pinkie know that before it happens.
Yes,
so yeah, it makes sense for this to be more of a one-off thing. I am curious if it will ever show up again, but again, that's such a tough thing to write for.
Yeah, because it's such a tough thing to write for, it's kind of like a rare thing that happens if the writers remember to include it, which again, it's rare. So
yeah,
this is the episodes where it's most prominent, and it's very interesting. We just watched the 2-minute test animation where this, I guess, was a small plot point of that test animation. So
yeah,
they were
I
thinking
wonder
of
if it was meant originally to be a bigger thing, and then it was too difficult to write around, so they decided to kind of keep it an occasional thing instead.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. Don't know what the plans were. But it is a very like thinking about the episode in general. It's just a weird concept to have. Um, but yeah, we this episode has stuff in it. There's
Yeah.
yeah, just read your notes, Jay.
Yeah, no, I do like the structure of this episode, the way that there's a good escalation in action. We start with, Pinkie getting these various little things, and Twilight's kind of trying to figure it out, and then Twilight gets a little bit more in depth, and she's doing more like scientific type studying. And then eventually we end up with the Hydra, which that's the kind of stuff that I expected the show would be. After just the first couple episodes, I was expecting more of this sort of fantasy adventure type thing.
Yeah, I also kind of wished for more of this stuff. Like, there's a Hydra just right there, spitting distance from Ponyville in the bog.
Yep.
Um, nobody knows about apparently. And again, like many other elements, this is its only appearance, and it's so frustrating because it's like, oh yeah, you could do cool stuff with the Hydra. Nope, that's it. Yeah, this episode is really about Twilight's crisis of like faith or something.
Well, more so her sort of frustration that her more scientific approach to things can't explain everything.
Right.
Which is very like in keeping with what we've seen of her. She's a very academic type character. She wants to understand how things work. So the fact that she doesn't understand this, even though it's like, and I think they do actually do a decent job of explaining this, but like, yeah, this is a world in which magic is a commonplace thing. So the unexplainable isn't as odd to them. But even within their system of magic, the way it manifests with Pinkie Pie is considered odd.
Yeah. Yeah. And Twilight cannot use her scientific method to come up with a solution. Or she tries to. Like, she
Yeah.
does not want to accept the fact that Pinkie has this, like, very special ability that she can do things. And, like, even if there's, like, quote unquote evidence in the face, she just doesn't accept it. It's really weird for, like, having this concept for, like, a kid's show. Especially for, like, My
Yeah.
Little Pony. Where it's like she stands on a soapbox to like preach the her thing of science. It's weird. I don't know. It's surprisingly deep. I don't know what to
Okay.
say, or sophisticated.
Yeah, there's I mean the lesson it is teaching here is an interesting one.
Hmm.
And yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's also interesting. This is just like a smaller detail, but the way when she is trying to distract the Hydra, and she immediately thinks, "Oh, what would Rainbow Dash do?" That she recognizes, "Oh, I need to think like one of my other friends in this moment."
I'm not sure why Twilight couldn't teleport, especially by herself.
That's the other problem with writing of when you have magical characters just in general. Like it's hard to keep those types of things consistent.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, it's still early show, so maybe they're still not really realizing the full potential of these things. But yeah.
I think it's also just at a certain point, it's hard to have stakes in your story.
Yeah.
Like you kind of have to let things happen a little bit, or you run out of like, because yeah, in any situation, why is Twilight not teleporting?
Sure. But it's like, especially when there's like that chasm, like instead of like
Yeah.
leaping, like teleporting. It's like teleporting away from the Hydra. Okay, that doesn't really need to happen, but like a chasm that's not too far away, she could do that. I mean, we've seen her
Yeah.
do that. Anyway, it's fine. You know, she needs to jump and learn to take a leap of faith and just trust things will happen. That's the whole point. Yeah, Pinkie Pie. She's just
Yeah.
living her best life.
Yeah, she's very unbothered by everything. like it doesn't matter that Twilight is being kind of mean to her because she's just like she does not register that as meanness.
It's like, oh yeah, Twilight's been following me all day. That's fun. I'm gonna
Yeah.
roll around at the children's playground by myself.
Yeah.
Smell all the flowers in the area. Not do my job. And here it's revealed that Pinkie Pie has a pet alligator named
Yeah.
Gummy, who
Is
constantly tries to murder her, but has no
yeah.
teeth.
Is
So,
this a recurring bit or
yes.
okay.
I mean, Gummy is definitely a recurring pet that we see.
Okay.
So, yes. Whether or
Yeah.
not we see Gummy constantly attempt to murder Pinkie, I don't recall. But,
Okay.
like, this was definitely his full on rampage.
Yeah, I was just curious because it seems like a bit of a throwaway thing of like, oh yeah, my pet alligator. So I
Yes.
wasn't sure
Just,
if that was going to be a recurring character.
yeah, it's such a wacky Pinkie Pie thing. I love Gummy. It's such a wacky, fun idea.
Yeah, then a couple of other just small character details. Fluttershy remembers the hop, skip, and jump thing from whatever episode that was.
Yeah, the Dragon Shy. I love that small little bit of continuity. It's just like such a small thing where things happen. You could kind of really tell that season 1 they like connected over these small little details. Just like they didn't need to put in the hop, skip, and jump thing, but they did, and it's cute, and it really came full circle. Um, I don't know why the frogs are overpopulating where she's at, and she has to take them to a bog. But it's
I
really
mean,
sad with they're running away from the Hydra. And she says sorry to the frogs, as if they're going to be the sacrifice.
yeah, I
Yes.
mean, frogs can multiply quite quickly, so.
Yeah. Tadpoles.
Yep.
Tadpoles, man. Did you ever collect tadpoles as a kid?
Yeah, my grandparents had a pond, so we'd catch frogs and catch tadpoles and occasionally catch a turtle or something. Not a
What'd you
big
do with
turtle,
them?
just like a small. Um, I think my grandparents had like a little display thing that we would keep them in very briefly, like not overnight or anything. I mean it was literally in their yard, so if you wanted to catch a frog, you'd catch a frog and then be like, "Oh, look, this is a frog." Then you'd let it go and find another frog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think one time I caught some tadpoles and I put it in a fish tank. I don't remember what
Okay.
happened. Either they grew up, put them in the pond, or maybe they died. I don't know. I was too young to remember. They weren't that important in my life, so you
I
know how kids are.
discovered the exact distance from the pond where you could hold a frog and they wouldn't jump out of your hand.
Oh,
Because if you got too close, then they'd be like, "Oh, there's the pond. I got to jump there." And if you got too far, then they'd be like, "Oh, the pond's really far away. I better get out of here." But there was like a certain distance where if you were at it, you could hold it. They would just stay in your hand.
yes.
That's
Anyway,
unfortunate.
Applejack. She likes apples. Uh, she believes in Pinkie's thing.
Yep. I guess she's here too. That's her role this episode.
Yeah, she's here to be like, "Yo, Twilight, you're new to town, and you don't know that Pinkie Pie's things are real. You know, we gotta believe
Which
him."
I don't know timeline wise how these episodes are supposed to line up, but I feel like at this point Twilight isn't new to town.
I mean, okay.
I know that the fandom has probably worked out a timeline where each episode is fixed in a particular moment, and but I don't really care about that. It just seems like 15 episodes in, it's maybe a bit odd to still be doing that. But I guess you kind of have to introduce the new stuff.
Yeah, which kind of feels like this was probably meant to be an earlier episode. I
Okay.
mean, because it's a test animation that was used, it was probably one of the earlier ones written. But yeah, it's
I mean, yeah,
smack dab
or
in the
they
middle of
just
the
reused the
season.
idea.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, visuals. I like the swamp as sort of this visually distinct new area. It was weirdly giving me like Dark Souls 3 vibes. Oddly
Okay.
enough,
Yeah.
with their swamp area. That's obviously much darker and more dangerous, but it's like, oh, I should play some Dark Souls 3. Um yeah, the Hydra is also like interesting visually. I don't know that I've seen many Hydra placed in like a swamp type area. Um, I wish that, because there's one Hydra head that's a little bit lagging behind the others. I wish that that had factored in a little bit more. Like if Twilight had realized that that was happening and used that to her advantage somehow.
We don't have time for that. Anyway, yeah, another thing. Twilight turned into a fire Pokemon in this when she got angry.
Yep.
That's just some weird cartoon thing that
Yeah.
happened that we don't see again. It's interesting.
I kind of assume it is supposed to be calling back to the conversation about Fluttershy exploding from earlier in the episode. At least that was what I
No,
imagined.
that's that's a different type of explosion. I think they're thinking of like spontaneous combustion, but yes,
Yeah.
that's a funny little banter that they had. On to animation errors. This first one, there's like a debate whether or not it is actually an error. But
Okay.
looking at Twilight, what's the one thing that you'd probably think is missing?
I mean, there's no cutie mark.
Yes, and the debate is that actually her flank or is that just her inner thigh? Because her legs are like in a weird position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about these ponies to about their anatomy to weigh in on that.
Yep. Anyway. So the next two are so the first one is like we see Pinkie and we see Twilight, and then the next frame, what happened? Where's Twilight? Where's Spike?
They're gone?
Yeah,
I
for a
don't know.
split second they were just gone. They were poof, not
Okay.
there. So they were missing for one frame. Performances, shorter cast on this one.
Yeah.
For
Yeah, we aren't getting Rarity or Rainbow Dash here.
just these folks. Yeah. Kathy Westluck as Spike. She's the voice of Near from Death Note.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
I think
that
we talked about that at some point.
Yeah, I've mentioned it before where that was the first time I recognized someone's voice in something else. It was like,
Okay.
oh, I think I recognize this voice. Is that Kathy Westluck? And then it was. And then, of course, when you look at like the cast of Death Note, it's like, oh, there's a lot of people that I recognize in that cast. So, yes.
Yep.
Yes. Sound weird, there's no songs here. On to illusions via the Pony Wiki. So, the episode was developed from the common phenomenon of rheumatism, predicting the weather, which was expanded into Pinkie Pie's Pinkie Sense. Rheumatism. Is that what? Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
Yep.
Okay. Pinkie Pie's Pinkie Sense is similarly named to Spider-Man's Spider Sense or Spidey Sense. Sure. Twilight's line, "What in the wide, wide world of Equestria," is a reference to a similar line spoken in Blazing Saddles, What in the wide, wide world of sports, which itself is a reference to the long-running TV sports program. Oh, wow.
There's a new movie coming out that's like a Downton Abbey parody, and I keep waiting for the moment where I could use one of the lines from the trailer. Which is one of the characters is reacting to something insane and goes, "What on God's flat earth?" I just love the
How silly.
So
Anyway,
yeah, that line
Twilight's
was reminding me of that.
Latin name for Pinkie Pie, Picus, is similar in naming scheme to those used in Warner Brothers' Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner cartoons.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember those cartoons.
I have seen some. I don't remember that specific bit.
Yes, I think I think that's how they always introduce the characters using Latin, Pig Latin for whatever. IMDb trivia. We have a few. I have a few for this one. Friendship report. Twilight learned even though she can't understand something random from someone else, it doesn't mean she can't believe them about it. Okay. When Twilight becomes enraged upon learning the Hydra wasn't the doozy Pinkie predicted, she takes on an appearance which resembles the Pokemon character Rapidash. Okay. I don't know if that's true, but Pokemon.
Yeah, I recognize that name, but I don't know my Pokemon enough to.
Yes.
Is
This
that
story contains
Oh,
three
yeah.
allusions to common phrases. First, the title is a spoof of the slang phrase feeling peachy keen, which is an informal way of saying something someone is feeling very good. Second, Twilight pushes aside soaps on a crate so she can get on top of it to educate Pinkie Pie on the difference between real magic and superstition. This is a twist on the phrase get off your soapbox, which is used to describe a person engaging in often flamboyant, impromptu, and unofficial public speaking. Finally, when Twilight is trying to escape the Hydra, Pinkie tells her to take a leap of faith. While Pinkie is being literal, a leap of faith is more commonly used as a metaphor describing the act of trusting someone or something despite apparent counter evidence. So, yes, I have mentioned all of those things. Okay.
So I just looked up Rapidash, the Pokemon, and I have to say the female form looks very familiar.
Let me
I've
see.
just said to you what it looks like.
Oh my, yeah, that's a Celestia right there.
Yep, just missing the
Yeah,
wings.
just missing the wings. Yes. Fluttershy says when escaping the Hydra, just hop, skip, and jump. Oh yeah, this is what we said earlier.
Yep.
And then lastly, Derpy appears, giving Twilight major injuries, dropping boxes. So she shouldn't be moving crates and such. Yes.
Working for UPS or something.
FedEx, you mean?
Whatever the pony equivalent of that is.
I don't want to get into a pun right now. Anyway, before we move on to the next episode, we want to take a moment to tell you about where you can find us. We're Binging Barbie Podcast on Instagram and Tumblr, Binging Barbie on Blue Sky and Serialized, and Binging Barbie at Barbie Movie Podcast on Letterboxd. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave a 5-star review and go join our Patreon at patreon.com/Binging Barbie Podcast.
So yeah, season 1, episode 16 is called Sonic Rainboom. This was released February 18, 2011. This time written by M.A. Larson.
M.A. Larson! Yeah! My guy. Story for this episode. Rainbow Dash is preparing for a competition in the floating city of Cloudsdale, and she is worried about her trick, the Sonic Rainboom, which has only successfully pulled off once while she was a child. And contributing to her worries, since only Pegasi can walk on clouds, Fluttershy would be the only one of her friends cheering her on. But Twilight decides to try a magic spell to create wings so others can join, and Rarity volunteers to be the one Twilight tries the spell on, but it ends up being so difficult, Twilight can only do it once. And she finds a different spell for herself and the other ponies that would let them walk on the clouds anyway. And in Cloudsdale, Rarity's new butterfly-like wings make quite the splash. And at the encouragement of some other residents of Cloudsdale, she decides to enter the competition as well. There isn't enough time during the competition for all the competitors, so Rarity and Remedash are forced to go out at the same time. And Remedash messes up her routine because, anxiety and all that. Anyway, meanwhile, Rarity flies too close to the sun, and like Icarus, her wings burn up and she falls. And Rapidash sees her friend in danger and flies as fast as she can to catch her, creating a sonic rainboom. And Princess Celestia crowns Rainbow Dash the winner of the competition, and she gets the chance to fly with the Wonderbolts, the ones that are still conscious.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, actually, I really like this episode. I think the plot and story setup provides a lot of space for good character conflict and character arcs here.
Yes.
We're really digging deeper into especially Rainbow Dash's psychology in a way we haven't quite done before.
Yeah, we don't normally see her like fearful. She's usually like hard headed. Like she will kick a
Yeah.
dragon, no problem. But like when she has to like perform, but she doesn't know she can actually do her trick,
Yeah.
it gets in her head, and she's like nervous about that. Gets a stage fright and anxiety.
Yeah.
We also
And
get to learn
I
a
think
little bit of rainbow lore and myths about the
yes.
Sonic Rainbow.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because not only is Rainbow Dash like she isn't confident in this trick, but she also doesn't have the support system she would normally have because it is just initially Fluttershy. Fluttershy is not a particularly loud cheerer, at least when
Yay!
she's tried to be. Um, and then yeah, it's like then the other ponies show up, but then Rarity kind of starts upstaging her. So yeah, she gets in her head a little bit more than usual. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I do also like the sort of allusions to myth, this connection with Icarus, and then I mean the way the plot is structured just feels very. It is a type of thing that we have seen done before, but what is interesting about this iteration is we're getting these specific characters and seeing that used to add depth to them. Yeah, it
Yeah.
feels like, hey, here's a familiar situation. Let's put these characters in and see what happens to them, as opposed to what I think often happens, which is just, hey, let's just do the paint by numbers thing. Here it's like, hey, here's a situation. Let's treat it as a crucible for these characters. Yeah, and we have sort of it's interesting. We have these twin arcs here where you have Rainbow Dash who needs more confidence and then Rarity who has too much confidence.
And Vanity.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
forget Vanity.
But yeah, that they sort of have the opposite problems and have to learn opposite lessons. Um and yeah, Rainbow Dash, we're seeing her insecurities peek through a little bit, which really makes you root for her. I
Yeah.
think in other episodes she can sometimes be more difficult to root for, like the fall weather friends,
Mm-hmm. Oh
where
yeah.
she's just being very sort of self-confident and
Yeah.
yeah, whereas
Unsportsmanlike.
yeah, where here it's like, oh no, she's a little bit on the back foot here, so she's become a bit more of an underdog. And yeah, I like that she is able to do the sonic boom specifically because she is saving a friend.
Hmm.
I always like this trope, or I shouldn't say always because there's probably an occasion where I don't like it, but I tend to like this trope of, the character is struggling to do something, but then they're able to do it because someone else is in danger. And like they aren't even aware that they're doing it until they've already started doing it.
Yeah, I think this is the better version of that trope because it's set up pretty well what she's trying to achieve, kind of, and
Yeah.
the stakes just really help. Like they really feel like, oh yeah, her flying down to like save them. Yeah, that makes sense why the Rainboom would happen.
Yeah.
Um, Takanuva playing Coley with Makuta and making that move. I mean, sure, yep, he did it. That's fine. Um, but yeah, no, Ramodash, she is the one who did a Sonic Rainboom, and apparently that's like a mythical childhood legend that happened. I don't know the lore behind
Yeah.
it, but hey, she has this one famous move that only she can do, so that's neat.
Yeah. Now Rarity, as I was saying, she has this sort of this other arc going on. What I really like is that it all starts from a place of genuine selflessness.
Yes,
Like she's the one who
yes,
suggests that they need to go and cheer Rainbow Dash on, and she even volunteers for the spell, knowing that it might backfire. Um,
yeah.
but then
She
it
even
backfires in a
pushes
very different way,
Twilight.
where like the spell works, and then because Rarity just sort of loves the attention and loves to be seen as beautiful, she starts making these selfish and ill-advised decisions.
Once again, you know, my younger self was really frustrated with Rarity. Like, oh, I was on her side at the beginning, but then she started uh, doing the opposite of what she came here to do. And it's like, Rarity, what are you doing? This is Why you be anyway? Yes, of course. She has to realize her folly and become Icarus and realize, oh yeah, my friend. Why am
Yep.
I prioritizing my beauty? Even though I'm a flutter pony alicorn, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was after doing the 1986 movie, having like, oh look, it's a flutter pony type pony. Is that a
Y-
variety we see later on in this show?
No.
Okay.
This is the only quote unquote reference to that.
Okay.
There, there's something else. Like we'll
Okay.
get to that when we get to that. You know, we're not there quite
Yep.
yet, but there are different species of pony adjacent things.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
Well, yeah,
Rarity.
the other thing we get here is sort of a mini arc for Fluttershy,
Oh, I love it.
where yeah, where she's just like she's having trouble cheering on Rainbow Dash, even though she's trying her best. She's just not, that is not something that is suited for her personality. But then she does genuinely get caught up in the moment and cheers loudly and genuinely for her friends.
Yes. Yes, which again, talking. I keep mentioning shipping. Flutterdash. That's the ship name for her and Flutter, whatever.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, the opening with like Fluttershy's "Yay" is like a huge meme. There's lots of big
Okay.
stuff in this episode. So like the "Yay," there's a whole T-shirt. There's a T-shirt that's just Fluttershy saying "Yay." I love that shirt. I wish I had one. It's simple and fun, but
Yeah.
that's a meme clip. Also, Rainbow Dash getting her Sonic Rainboom fandom loved that. There's lots of artwork with that, so
Yeah.
pretty cool. Yeah,
No,
Fluttershy, adorable.
do you have a sense of like what is the most popular, or what are the most popular ships in the fandom?
Oh gosh, why are you asking me that? Oh no. Yeah, I think the most popular ships are not with any of the main six. It's with the background
Okay.
ponies, and I will talk about that other times when those things show up.
Okay.
But yeah, so of like the main ones, the popular ones are like one Flutter Dash, two Apple Dash, Rara Jack. Those are the three that I can think of on the top of my head.
Okay.
Yes. Giving you cursed information, plenty of fan fiction out there for everyone. Oh boy, I don't want to go too deeply into that research, so I'm
Yeah.
good.
I
I'm
mean,
good.
I might just go on like AO3 or something and look up what ships have the most number of fix, to just out of curiosity. But yeah.
Don't spoil yourself quite yet.
I mean, I wouldn't even be looking at titles. I would just be looking at, okay, which are the ones that have the most. But yeah, anyway,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
doesn't have anything to do with anything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rimadesh has childhood bullies.
Yeah, they're very much the stereotypical bully characters. Don't know if there's too much to say about them.
Yeah, they have not grown up. They are still making fun of her. Oh,
Yep.
I guess like Rainbow Dash did not finish flight camp.
Yeah. Apparently, I don't know
Apparently,
what the story behind that is supposed to be, but
I
yeah.
don't know if we get an answer to that, but that's just a random bit of information here.
Yeah.
Again, Rainbow Dash doesn't have the proper education to follow the paperwork to join the Wonderbolts. You know.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Needs to get her GED or something.
Yeah, I guess. But hey, she has that one good trick.
Yep.
You know.
Sonic Rainboom.
Yeah, someone, someone like did a project and like tried to do the math of like how fast she would have to go. It was like a class presentation they did, and I think
Yeah.
it's like, oh, she was going like Mach 3 or something, or I don't know. I don't know
Okay.
what the numbers are, but that was math. And then and then they did a you know the series Death Battle.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes. They did an episode with Rainbow Dash and Starscream.
Okay.
And so her main weapon of choice was the Sonic Rainboom. Um,
I mean,
anyway,
why not, I guess?
why not visuals? Visuals. We got to see Cloudsdale, a Cloud City.
Yeah. It is very much like my idea of like, oh, what does a fantasy Cloud City looks like very much comes from the Super Smash Bros. Kid Icarus stages, which I don't know if you are familiar enough with that to imagine what I'm
Mm.
talking about, but it is literally, clouds in Greek architecture. So
Yeah.
watching this, I was like, oh, yep, that's pretty much exactly what I would expect.
We were talking about when Rarity was making the dresses, why does Rainbow Dash have like this Roman or design on her?
Yeah.
Cloudsdale, that's kind of inspired by Greek and Roman architecture. So yeah, that makes sense, I
Yeah.
guess. Translates well. Alright, so here we're introduced to the weather factory. We get a little tour. They make the snowflakes by hand, by hoof. And then they make the rainbows here, which you know how fandom is. Someone made a fan song about the Rainbow Factory that sounded pretty ominous, and then someone took that song and it's like, hey, I'm gonna write a popular fanfic or infamous fanfic, kind of another creepypasta about how rainbows are made. And so yeah, that's another one of those popular fanfics out there, the Rainbow
Okay.
Factory. I don't know if you heard of it.
I have not heard of that one.
Okay. Yes, that's up there with Cupcakes on
Okay.
infamous.
That is the only, that one and Fallout Equestria are the only of the fanfics that I have ever been familiar with. So
Okay, well, Fallout is nothing compared to those two, but yes, Rainbow Factory. That's the second of the big ones to keep
Okay.
track of.
Keep that in mind.
I guess I'll tell you that later. Yeah, Sonic Rainboom looks cool.
Yeah, I agree.
It's unique.
It's suitably, like, the whole episode has been building up to it, and it does deliver on that.
Yeah, it's a boom. It's
Yep.
rainbow. She gets like a rainbow trail and does stuff. She goes fast.
Yep, gotta go fast.
Yep. Gotta go fast. Speaking of going fast, animation errors. So yeah, we talked about this briefly with Fall Weather Friends, but yes, here they have numbers on their cutie marks, the contestants. And what happens? Sometimes one shot they have the numbers there. Next shot they're gone. So that's what happened here with Rainbow Dash.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep. On to the next one. This is probably the worst image I could have chosen for this example. But here, Celestia's talking to Twilight and Rarity. But there's something odd here that doesn't quite match. There's something behind Celestia, or someone behind Celestia, that should not be there. I don't know if you notice.
I'm not recognizing seeing. I don't know the ponies well enough to know.
No, yeah, you don't have to know the pony's name.
I see. I see behind her hair.
No, not the hair.
Not
her
the hair.
wings. Her wings. There's a green pony behind her wings.
Yeah.
Yes. So again, that's Lyra Heartstrings. And the thing about Lyra is that she's a unicorn.
Oh, I see. I see where
Yeah.
you're going with this.
Yeah. Yeah. I was watching the episode and I spotted her in a few frames and was like, wait, what's Lyra doing there? Why is she here?
I mean, maybe she used the same spell that the others used to get up there.
Yeah, but I don't know, we kind of semi-established that Twilight's really the magic one, so it's kind of weird. Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going up there, but that's just a thing to notice. Maybe she did use a spell. Or maybe, again, because she's a background asset, they used her. Yeah, that's what we got going on.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything to say about the performances here.
Kathleen Barr's here. That's actually surprising.
Yeah, because she's playing like background ponies.
This tells me that they were recording this and the other episode around the same time, and they just brought her in to do the background voices.
Okay.
Because, yeah, it doesn't make sense for her to be here at this time. So,
Yeah.
that's interesting. What the? Leroy Winkins? Reading the names of some of these names. What? Okay. Anyway, yeah. Richard Ian Cox. I don't know if we talked about him before.
I don't know that we have, no.
He did the bullies. Oh, Madden. Yes, there was one of the bully ponies had like football cutie marks. So
Yep.
Madden, that's the name. Well, that's funny. On to illusions via the Pony Wiki. So, Rarity's hubris leading to the loss of her wings to the sun echoes the story of Icarus from Greek mythology. In the story, Icarus attempts to escape Crete, or Crete, I don't know, by
Crete,
means
yeah.
of wings that his father Daedalus had constructed from feathers and wax. Overcome by his pride, he ignores Daedalus's warnings not to fly too close to the sun, which melts the wax and causes him to fall to his death. Or, luckily for Rarity, not to death.
Yeah.
Yes. The music that plays during Rarity's performance is a rearrangement of the waltz from Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake. I don't know if you caught that.
Yes.
Yes. Anyway, the episode title is a pun on Sonic Boom, which is the shock wave created by an object traveling faster than the speed of sound. That's pretty fast.
Yep.
Claudicium's name, the area where the Best Young Flyer competition was held, is a reference to the Roman Colosseum. Yes. Spitfire, which is the leader of the Wonderbolts' namesake, comes from the Supermarine Spitfire, an iconic British fighter plane used by the Allies during World War II. Yes. On to IMDb trivia. Fluttershy's inhaling when she is about to cheer for the last time is actually Pinkie Pie's huge gasp from Friendship is Magic Part 1 played backwards. That's
Okay.
That's
Oh.
interesting. Yeah.
Wonder why they didn't just have her record maybe they didn't know that they needed it when they were recording.
No idea. Anyway, Friendship Report. Rarity learned to be there for her friends while keeping her hopes on the ground, literally and figuratively. Oh, interesting. Yeah, this is the first episode where someone other than Twilight gives the lesson to Celestia. Here, Rarity tells Celestia her woes.
Celestia had this moment of asking, "Hey, did you learn anything about friendship from this event?" And I was just imagining, what if Twilight was just like, "Nope." Obviously, they can't do that because that's goes against the premise of the show. But yeah.
Yes. So when Rainbow fails at her Sonic Rainbow in the beginning, she has one front leg outstretched. When she completes it successfully to save Rarity, she has both front legs outstretched. Okay, I don't.
Superman.
Sure.
I guess.
Yeah, I guess it means that she's confident. I guess. And then lastly, Derpy appears full frame in the middle of the screen. That's nice. Nice for the fans. That's these two sets of episodes. I like Sonic Rainboom.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites of this season.
Okay. Yeah, it's one of my favorites that we've seen thus far. If I were trying to rank them, I don't know that I could rank them, but
I mean, give it time. Give it time. Anything else for this week?
I think that's it from my end.
Okay. Well, anyway, thank you everyone for listening, and make sure to follow us on your podcast platform of choice and on our social media platforms. Also, a special thanks to Chris Anthemum for our series artwork with our OCs on it. And you can find her at spell out Chris Anthemum.
Oh yeah. CHRYS_ANTHEM_UM on Instagram.
Yes.
So it's Chris with a Y.
Yes. Why, Chris? Why? Anyway, We will be back next week for episode 17 and 18 of Friendships with Magic. And until then, yay!
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 Should have clipped that for this outro.
Yay!
Bye, ponies.
Bye.
Shooby-doo, shoot, shoot-be-doo.